It's a $30 tracking device marketed to help you find your keys or your bag, but the Apple AirTag is doing more than that. Some people say they've gotten notifications that they are being tracked. I've got 4 quarters here. An AirTag is about the size of a few quarters stacked on top of each other. That's 4 right there. You pair it to your phone the same way you would pair some earbuds. Now, according to Apple, these devices can detect the AirTag using a secure Bluetooth signal on the Find My network. The company says it's all anonymous and encrypted. And so far, the device seems to be successful in doing what it was created to do, helping people find keys or wallets. One Reddit user claims they recovered a stolen bike thanks to an AirTag that was hidden under the seat. There are also growing concerns that this tiny device is being used for stalking. A model named Brooks Nader shared her story last month.
I got notified that someone was tracking me. Check your belongings, check your surroundings. It was the scariest moment ever.
Scary moment, and indeed the same thing happens to one of our show's producers as well. Today, the Attorneys General of New York and Pennsylvania put out a warning about AirTags. New York's Letitia James wrote that the AirTags are, quote, being misused to track people and their belongings to cause harm, unquote. A few days ago, Apple condemned those who misuse the AirTag. The company says it's working on updates, like a new warning reminding people that non-consensual tracking is a crime. It's also implementing features to know exactly where an unwanted AirTag is, and covert AirTags will emit a louder tone for people to hear more clearly. Let's get into all this with Ryan Mack, a technology reporter for The New York Times. Mr. Mack, welcome. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
So what's the general read on the AirTags in terms of the pros outweighing the cons?
Well, I think like any technology, these AirTags have the capability of being abused. And that's what we're seeing here with this very new device being out in the world. Obviously, you showed Brooks Nader talking about her instance of being stalked. And we're seeing this more and more as this device gets introduced in the world. It was only introduced last year. We did a story recently in the Times detailing people who found them in their cars, behind their bumpers. I talked to a teenage student who had her mom put one on her car without her knowing so she could track where she was. And this isn't the intended use case that Apple has made these for, but people are finding ways to, I guess, creatively stalk people in the world.
We should also just be clear that, like, the AirTag is a smaller version of existing technology. I mean, we're already being tracked. We have consented to be tracked with our phones through any number of apps that we use. So I'm just wondering how to place the AirTag thoughtfully in the middle of all the other tracking that we have agreed to as part of the kind of app economy that we're in right now.
I think the most significant difference between the two is, I mean, let's say I'm the person trying to stalk someone. I'm not going to put my phone onto you and have you walk around with it. And obviously that would be sort of noticeable. This device is $29. It's about the size of a quarter, as you said earlier. And it can be kind of covertly placed behind a bumper or stuck into someone's jacket pocket, put into their backpack without the person knowing. Now, of course, Apple has these notification systems. So if an unknown AirTag is following you or near your body for a certain period of time, it will notify you if you have an Apple device. But these notifications aren't foolproof, and people are starting to kind of see these things in the wild and, I guess, express their fear with them.
What makes AirTags different, if they are at all different, from other devices like this? This isn't the first device of its kind. There's another one called Tile that came out before the Apple AirTag that I think prompted many of the same concerns. So, like, how does this sit in kind of the ecosystem of similar devices?
Sure, Tile's been around for quite some time. I actually have one. I put one on my cat to find her. But the difference between Tile and AirTag is that there are many more Apple devices out there in the world. So it makes it much easier to locate an AirTag out in public, whereas Tile has to be connected to other Tile-enabled devices. It is enabled via something called Amazon Sidewalk, so it can connect to Echo and other devices that are put out in the world by Amazon. But with regards to the AirTag, it can connect to basically anyone else's iOS device to kind of allow itself to map itself through the world, and that's what makes this thing so much more powerful.
So you said you put one on your cat so you can find cats who seem to love to make themselves have to be found. Did you have any concerns about doing that? I mean, if God forbid anything like this should happen, God forbid, but if I wanted to come after you and I know you own a cat, like following where you follow that pet could lead me to you. Did you have any concerns about doing that for yourself?
I guess not. I mean, she just gets lost in the bushes out in the yard and need to find her every now and then. But with regards to that example, no one else can connect to my tile. So it's within my kind of device ecosystem. I guess if my cat has privacy concerns, she can take that up with me. But it's a little bit different in that case, I think.
So I want to make sure I understand. The tile is different from the AirTag in terms of the other kinds of devices that might be able to access it. Is that kind of part of the difference? Right.
And as also, I guess the main difference, I mean, tile can be used in these stalking instances as well. I guess the bad thing about tile is it does not have these proactive notifications that it'll push to people's phones if it's on your person. Tile said it's now working on those notifications. It's going to get those out there. But that's the main difference. And I would just say that AirTags are much more powerful given that network that we talked about.
Ryan Mack from the New York Times, I appreciate you discussing this and your cat with us. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.